Hey everybody, it's Diane Gale here from the blog and YouTube channel Sustainable Slow Living, and today we are going to make some cinnamon sugar twist donuts. If you've been around for a while, you know that I don't have a stand mixer. It's one of the things I would like to have. All the recipes I've seen for this called for a stand mixer. Apparently it goes a lot easier that way. We're going to do it by hand today because that's what I have to offer. And I think it's still going to come out great. I'm also going to coat these twist donuts in a cinnamon sugar blend. If you've been around for a while, you know that I'm packing to move. So the cinnamon and the sugar is what I have out. Other recommended blends that I have for you are cocoa and sugar or pumpkin pie spice and sugar. And I'm actually dying to try either one of those because they would be my preferred choice to the cinnamon. But I just simply don't have that available. So today it will be cinnamon sugar. To get started with this recipe, you're going to take a tablespoon of dry yeast and you're going to put it in a big mixing bowl. And I already have that in here. And then you are going to take 1.5 cups of warm water, or warm whole milk. You don't want your milk to be hot. You just want it to be warm. I think mine is actually a little too hot because I got held up getting this filming started because people were doing other things around the house. So 1 tablespoon of yeast, 1.5 cups of warm whole milk, and 3 tablespoons of sugar right in this bowl. And then you're going to let that rest for 5 minutes. Because you want that milk, the warm liquid of the milk to activate the yeast, and it will become even more active because it will feed on the sugar. Look at me learning all the baking things. So after this rests for about 5 minutes, we're going to start to add some other ingredients to it, and one of those things is going to be 6 tablespoons of butter. This butter is room temperature, but I'm going to go for semi-melted because all of the recipes that I'm reading are calling for me to whisk this into this liquid, and there's no way that this is going to whisk in. So I'm going to put it in that pan and I'm going to semi-melt it, and I don't know the baking rules. We're going to see how that works out in the end. Well, this has rested and this has melted, and I'm not sure, this does not look like it's blooming to me. So this yeast should be active. It should start to like bubble up. I'm not sure how the milk would make that different, but it doesn't seem to be doing what I think it should. So we'll see whether or not this batch turns out. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to whisk 1 farm fresh egg in here. Just get it so that it's, you know, pretty thoroughly mixed. And then take and whisk in your 6 tablespoons of butter. I'm just going to get most of this off the bottom of the pan because you'll lose a lot of butter by not scraping your pan. And whisk that in. And then in this bowl I have 4 cups of organic all-purpose white flour and 2 teaspoons of salt. You do want to mix this up with a whisk as well because you don't want the salt to hit the yeast in big concentrations because it will deactivate it. I am going to start folding this into the liquid mixture. I'm going to do about 1/3 of this at a time. That was kind of a big third. And I'm going to mix it all in here. I have no idea how thick this is going to get. All right. I am like a really messy baker. Okay, so this is starting to get pretty thick. I've got 2/3 in here. I'm going to get rid of this whisk I'm going to trade it in for this spatula. And then I'm going to add in the last third. And that should take us from less of a batter to more of a dough. Which it sure did. It is a sticky dough. But I am going to knead it for 10 minutes on a floured surface. And that should make it smooth and supple. And then I am going to put it back in a clean bowl, probably this very same bowl cleaned. And I'm going to rise it to double the size. And at that point, I will come back and you and I are going to make some cinnamon twist donuts. This is when I'm just getting started with the kneading. This is a really sticky dough. Okay, you guys. This is after a good 10 minutes of kneading. So it's still sticky. You can see that it still is stuck here, but it does come off easily. And then when I get my hands really in there and I pull them out, they come out sort of clean. So we've definitely done something great here. I wanted to show you before I got this put away to rise. All right, you guys, so I let this rise to more than double. It rose really well, actually, so that yeast must have activated. And now we are supposed to deflate it and divide it into 12 equal portions. I'm never very good at that. I suppose you could weigh it, but I'm not gonna try and find a scale today. So we'll see how this goes. It's actually coming out of the bowl really, really nicely. Like really, it came right out of there. So that's very cool. And then I also don't have my dough scraper. So hold on one second, let me get a knife. Okay, you guys, so I want to show you how to form these. You're going to take one and you're going to kind of make it a little bit of a log shape. And then you're going to take your hands and you're going to roll this hand up and you're going to roll this hand down. This hand up and this hand down. And you're just going to do that until you get a really nice kind of thin rope there. And then you're going to take that rope and you're going to hold it up in the air by the folded end, and then you're just going to twist your donut just like that. And then you want to pinch your ends together, and then you're just going to lay it down. And there you go. You have one ready to go in the pan. I would get 2 ready at a time, and then, you know, while 2 are frying in the frying pan, you can do the next 2. All right, you guys, I've got you at kind of a weird angle here, but here we go. You want to make sure that your oil is nice and hot when you put these in. I did put some in where the oil wasn't really hot, and they completely came unraveled. So keep them twisted and make sure that your oil is really hot. Here we go, you guys. They're starting to darken up. See this right here? That's how you want them to be. Nice and dark and crispy. All right, you guys, there's one coming right out of the fry pan. And then you want to work quickly in order to be able to get cinnamon sugar on them. I have just been taking and pouring it over. And then going back and working it in with my hands, because it doesn't just stick on its own. You can pull some from from the pan and just encourage it to stick on that donut. And then just flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. It does take a little bit of time. The cinnamon sugar was not easy to get on these. You had to be really quick, but it is sticking beautifully. This is the smallest one. They actually got huge. Some of them got really huge. We are going to have a taste because that's why we made them, right? So let's do it. They're really good. The butter really comes through in the dough, and the outside is nice and crispy, but the inside is soft and just a little bit chewy. Not chewy like bad chewing, like just a little bit. It has a little bit of substance to it. They came out really great. My tips would be quick with the cinnamon sugar. I can't say that enough. And make sure that you cook them until they're golden brown on both sides, because I can see how they're so big. I can see how they would not get done if you didn't cook them enough. But they're great, and I am dying to try them with cocoa powder and pumpkin pie spice. If you do that, let me know down in the comments how it goes. And as always, thank you so much for being here with me today, and you and I are going to get together again really soon.